This whole series has been so much fun. I love talking about the SAT. I could talk about it for hours, which of course is part of why I wanted to do this YouTube channel. So we can get in there. I can find other people that love the SAT and love online tutoring as much as I do, because it has changed my life and shaped it in ways I never could have even imagined. The whole series that we've been doing right now on SAT has been about two main ideas. One, you don't need higher math to solve problems, and many times that knowledge isn't even helpful. And that's because of number two, the SAT is a logic test, not a knowledge test. I'm Daisy Luce. I help people build flexible, profitable online tutoring businesses by specializing in high demand niches like me, and SAT tutoring is one of the best ones out there. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. The SAT loves to take a very simple problem and dress it up to look super advanced. Not because the student needs advanced math to solve it, but because the test wants to see if the student will panic, reach for the hardest method they know, and get it wrong. And they do. Students get it wrong so many times. They waste time, they make mistakes, or they give up because they think the problem is something they've never had in math class before. It's too hard. It's higher level than what they've made it to. But the student who recognizes that they can solve the problem in an easy way and move on, that's the whole game, thinking outside of the box. I told you I'd be back this week with a couple of new examples to show you in math. So let's go check them out. Okay, let's talk standard deviation. So in this problem, they want to know which answer has the largest standard deviation. Now, if a student taking the SAT is right now currently in AP statistics or just had AP stat, you know immediately where their mind is going. The full standard deviation formula, which is huge. I've been doing a lot of these problems by hand to show you how a student might do it that way, even though it will take a lot of time and it's not the easiest way to do the problem. I'm not going to do this one with the standard deviation formula. It's way too long, but just to give you an understanding of that formula, you have to first find the average. Then you take each number in the list and you subtract it from the average. You square it. You then take all of those answers and find the average of all the differences. And then you finally square root your final answer. I think I said all of that right. I rarely do the standard deviation formula by hand. Even in AP statistics, they only have to do it by hand in like the first chapter, and then they move on to just doing it with the TI-84. So that's the main idea of how you would do it step by step by step. That's insane. Why is this problem on the SAT if most students have never had standard deviation formula until AP Stat? How are they allowed to get away with that? Well, all right, let's go back to middle school. Back in middle school, there's something called MAD, or mean average deviation, which is is a simplified version of standard deviation. It's very similar though. They find the average or the mean, and then they find out how far each thing deviates from it. And so the word deviate, meaning move away from the norm, it should be in their mind somewhere because of middle school and because we also just use that word in our normal vocabulary and normal language, deviate. So I think the SAT just says, you know what? Since we're not asking them to actually do the formula, we just wanted them to understand the concept. And that is which list, in this case, are the numbers more spread out from the mean? And you actually can even just say to yourself, which list is more spread out from itself or from each other? That's it. I know there's a lot of K's in here, constants, but we still can look and see which list would be more spread out. Can you tell already? It would be C because of the +6 and -6. That's not like something kind of tricking you or anything. They're taking a number in the middle, the K, and then they're adding 6 and subtracting 6. They've created a very wide spread list there. And so that would therefore have the largest standard deviation. No formula meant to necessary to do that problem. Just for kicks, which one would be the smallest standard deviation, or which one is most compact with itself and not spread out? That would have to be this one. It's all the same number. That's super compact. They didn't spread out at all. They just listed the same number for every single one. So that would have been the smallest standard deviation. That is all they ever test for standard deviation on the SAT. And that is super easy once you know what they're asking and how to approach it. So that's the first math problem I wanted to show you. And then here was the other one. This problem, okay, this problem really trips up students who are in pre-cal trig class right now, because that problem to them immediately looks like a double angle formula. Sorry, not double angle, the sine sum and difference formula. The sine sum and difference formula, I'm not going to write it all out because we don't need it on this test, nor do we need it here, nor would it work, because none of the answers are written as the format would have to be for sum and difference. This is exactly what I was telling you about. A problem like this is set up to look like something from pre-cal, and then it turns out it's not. But that's all students know, and if they try to apply their pre-cal knowledge, it's not going to solve the problem for them. Because again, none of the answers have the sine alpha plus beta formula written out in that style. Well, good thing if you didn't even understand what I was talking about right there because you haven't had pre-cal in forever. Guess what? You know, you don't need it, nor would it be helpful for this problem. Based on what we worked on a couple weeks ago with math, when we had trig functions, do you remember the easiest way to solve trig problems, specifically SOHCAHTOA problems, if you are thinking like a freshman or somebody back from Algebra 1 or geometry skill level? The only thing a geometry person would know to do with this problem is to type it into the calculator, right? That's it. That's all they would know. So that's what we're going to do as well. Let's go to either your TI-84 or I have the Desmos Scientific Calculator pulled up here, and I'm just going to simply type in the problem, making sure, again, this is a good time to make sure, review with your students, and just remind yourself you do have to make sure you're in the correct degree or radian mode. I'm in degrees here since the numbers are in degrees. I'm going to type in the original, sine 35, cosine 55, cosine 35, sine 55, and I got 1. And now all I have to do is type in the answers below in order to find which one also equals 1. I believe the correct answer, let's check it. I think it's going to end up being C, because that also looks like a Pythagorean identity from pre-cal, which is a real identity. They might possibly connect it at that point if they made it that far. But again, just typing those in is going to be the easiest way to solve. None of the other problems would equal 1, and so C is the right answer. That is just wild to me. Students love when you show them these tricks as well. When they realize you don't have to do hard math to solve the problems on the SAT, their mind is blown. They are so excited to work hard to reach their SAT goals because they believe in themselves now. They believe that they can do the test because they're right. They can. They still have to practice. They still have to do homework problems. They still have to practice all the different sets of directions they might be given, but they are excited to work for it because they feel capable. And hopefully for you as a tutor, this shows you feel capable, even if you haven't had math in a long time, that you realize, oh wait, yeah, I totally can do this. So since this is the last video in the series, I want to pull it all together. We covered some big ideas over the last few weeks, 3 things in particularly. The math on the SAT can all be solved using just Algebra 1 and geometry, and many times should be solved with very simple skills. 2, don't overcomplicate problems and be sure you think like a freshman. And 3, remember, the entire test, including the reading section, as we saw last week, is all a logic test. When you teach it that way, it gets easier for you and easier for your students. And that's why SAT tutoring is such a fantastic tutoring niche. Students need help. Parents understand the value, they're willing to pay for it, and you can get real results using this knowledge about the tests that I've been giving you. I've been teaching the SAT this way for more than 20 years. And over that time, I built a full system for it that I use with my students, right? The patterns, the shortcuts, the traps, the grammar rules, the Desmos moves, the reading strategies, the specific homework I assign, all of it. And I've turned the whole thing into an SAT course, not just for students, but a course specifically for you, for tutors. I know there are a lot of courses out there. I know that's kind of the thing, but not many have my depth of knowledge and my perspective about the test, my unique take on the test, and the results to prove it through hundreds, thousands of my students' score improvements. So, if you've been thinking about tutoring the SAT, whether you're already a tutor but want to expand your subject base, or you're brand new to tutoring and want to start with a reliable program you can give to your students while charging top dollar, I've got the solution for you. You shouldn't have to build everything from scratch. You shouldn't have to guess what to teach first, what to skip, what to give students for homework, or how to explain the shortcuts. In my SAT course for tutors, I will give you everything. I'll give you the entire system I use, including my lesson plans, all the slides I use for each of my online tutoring sessions. You can use them. They're yours. It's all part of my course. And I'll even show you what I assign for homework week by week from the SAT website after each lesson with a student. So you can start teaching the SAT with absolute confidence and charge well for it. And when I say well, I mean well, top dollar. And the best part, this this doesn't even have to take hours and hours to learn, because if you've been following along through this series, you already know the SAT doesn't cover very much material that you have to relearn. In just 7 easy lessons, or 1 lesson a day for a week, is what I've set up. I can teach you every concept covered on the SAT. I'll walk you through every single slide I used to teach from, and then give them to you as well in your to use on your in your own tutoring if you want somewhere to start. So, if you watch the series and thought, I can do this, then definitely click on the link below to learn more about my course as you start dreaming about what it could mean for you to be an SAT tutor. Freedom from your job, from a boss, from a low-paying tutoring gig, freedom to travel and work from anywhere. So many amazing things that being an online tutor has to offer. And that's honestly why I decided to make a course. I know everybody's doing it. I know it's like a thing, but know that I really have I knew I had knowledge that could help someone else find the freedom and the opportunity that I have found by becoming an online SAT tutor. Not to mention, I just really care about all of the kids out there who need SAT tutoring to achieve their goals so that they can go to their dream school. And I can't help everyone, but together we can help a lot of kids. And let me tell you, there are a lot out there. It is a never-ending customer base to help. All right, that's it for this week. That's my pitch. Follow me here. Click on the link below if you want any of my free items, or if you want more information about the course. Let's keep talking about not only SAT, but online tutoring just as a business and how amazing it is. And that's it. Happy tutoring, friends. See you next time.